Hey everybody, what's up? It is Monday night, and you know what that means. It's the Reef Automation live stream. So happy to do this live stream. I'm so happy to have my guests, which I'm going to announce here in a few minutes. But some little bit of housekeeping to go over. First of all, there is going to be a huge giveaway announcement, but I'm going to let people wait to the end, I think. So if you have some friends, bring them on. It's going to be a pretty big announcement, I think. I hope it is. NSB Reefs. I know the 10 p.m. is hard for a lot of people. I did a vote, and this is the time everybody wanted, so this is the time we chose. I guess I could do two streams and have one for the East Coast and one for the West Coast. But anyway, a couple other little things. I was on Devin's stream, Devin Reef Dude's stream last week, and I announced a coupon code that I shouldn't have announced because I'm not allowed to do that. So if you got the coupon code, I apologize. I'm not allowed to do that. Um, Furthermore, I was quite ill last week when I was on Devin's stream, and I tried really hard, and it was about a 2-hour stream, and I got tons of people coming at me about how I sounded, and like I just wasn't feeling good. So I'm glad to be back up and running. Um, let's see what else is going on, and with that being said, I'm gonna do some more videos. Hopefully, I got a couple coming up. Let's see. What was there was something else I needed to say. Oh man. Oh, my store. So for those that don't know, I really appreciate if you guys start buying stuff from my store. Um, I'm a new, I do a lot of this stuff for you guys. I do a lot of these streams. It costs some money. You guys help me out by buying stuff on my store. I would really appreciate it. I can get you just about anything. If you don't see it on the website, it's just because I've been busy and I haven't had time to put it on there. Just send me a message on YouTube, send me a message on Facebook, and I know some of the people already on here have ordered from me. You get my support, you get my assistance setting it up if you need it. So yeah, I'd really appreciate it if you guys buy from my store. It's free shipping and no sales tax in most locations. And I do ship internationally as well. So if there's something specific you can't find somewhere else, please help me out. Buy some stuff from my store, get my store going so I can do more YouTube stuff, I can do more giveaways, and I don't know, maybe I'll start doing this full time. So yeah, the contest is not going to work, Aaron's Aquaculture, because I'm going to announce the giveaway at the end of the stream, and it is not the typical type in Reef Automation to enter the giveaway. This is something completely different that we're doing. Yeah, not free overseas shipping, that's correctly. Anyway, without further ado, I'm going to bring our guest in. Some of you might know him, some of you might not know him. His name is TJ. He has a YouTube channel similar to mine called TJ's Reef. So without further ado, welcome TJ to the Reef Automation live stream. I see he's sporting something there that I sold him. That's right.
That's right, Derek. Represent.
Derek replaced.
Thanks for having me on tonight, man.
No, thank you for coming. I know this has been a long time coming. I've been having all kinds of people bailing on me, and I've tried to get you on, and you were on vacation. So it's really great to have you finally. So everyone thinks that I'm replacing Terrence at Neptune. So that would be quite an announcement at the end of the stream, I will tell you. His beard is nicer than mine. I don't have a beard, guys. I never grew a beard, but if I grew a beard, trust me.
Took less than a minute for a beard comment.
Trust me. So TJ, tell us a little about yourself. You do live here in Arizona. That's how I know you mostly. But tell us a little bit about how you got into reefing, kind of what you bring to the table. I know you have a YouTube channel that has a lot of cool stuff on it, and I did put the link in the description of your YouTube channel in case you guys want to check it out.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So I'm a desert reefer, like Derek said, out here in where there is no water, funny enough. But I've been reefing for over 20 years, and I've just always had a kind of fascination with the ocean. I was always figuring that I'd be going into some type of ocean-related sciences or something like that, and life took me a completely different direction. But I've been keeping tanks for about 20 years, and it's just something that fascinates me. And I also scuba dive like you, Derek. So,
Yeah.
um, there's just something about the things in our oceans that I just find amazing and very uh, soothing to me. Very relaxing. Even though we go through a lot of pains keeping them happy and healthy here in our homes, I still find it very rewarding and enjoy it a lot.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the scuba diving, I've not scuba dove as much as you probably. I'm still a novice, even though I've been certified for a long time. My wife just got certified a couple of years ago. But yeah, that's something I've always wanted to really get into. It's just the travel, all the gear and money, of course, time. But I really want
Well,
to
you
do it.
did. You allegedly scuba the Georgia Aquarium, and we have yet to see proof of that, right?
Yes, I did, and I plan on making a video of it. I don't know if anyone out there is hearing TJ's audio is a little weird for me. I don't know if anyone else is having it, but your audio is kind of cutting in and out.
Oh,
I don't know if
I
I'm
can
the only
do a
one.
headset.
Yeah, we might
Let
need
me
to,
switch.
unfortunately.
Let me switch my headset.
Okay.
But go ahead. I can hear you still.
Okay. I don't know if it's me or if anyone else is hearing it too. But anyway, yeah, I do. I did dive the Georgia Aquarium, and I dove with whale sharks along with my wife, and it was easily one of the greatest moments of my life, without a doubt. So, uh,
Oh, it looks like your audio is cutting out too. They're saying.
ah, I hate when that happens. That means it's probably my computer. Let me quit out of this. Let me quit out of this other thing. Gotta love computers. My goodness, gotta love computers. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll just have to deal with it, guys.
Just
Hopefully
have to
everybody
keep
can hear me
going.
okay. Yeah, you're all messed up, so I don't know if it's our connection or what. Um, let's see. Have any questions on here yet? Nope. So the topic of today, yeah, someone's saying sound is fine. So the topic of today is about. Um, First, let's just talk about what to do when you're on vacation, right? TJ, you are an air traffic controller with those headphones. uh, yeah,
It's my game.
Zake,
My
I think it
gaming
says.
rig.
Um, I've been wanting to post my dive with the whale sharks. I've just been so flippin' busy. Maybe I'll work on it this week. I got so much going on, but I really want to do it. So, but the topic of today is about what to do. Let's just say what to do when you go on vacation, right? Or what to do when you're not home. And in my case, what to do when you're sleeping. So really, TJ, you go out of town a lot, right? You for your job, you're out of town. You just told me earlier going to Ireland. What kind of things do you have on your tank to keep it from catastrophe? And what do you do before you leave to make sure everything's good to go?
Yeah, I do travel enough that it's a concern. Tanks here, and so I do run a excuse me, a full Apex system. I run a Trident. I have a doser. Um, I also have some Wi-Fi cameras, security cameras, so I can see the tank. I have one mounted underneath the tank, facing down into the sump, so I can see skimmer, uh, filter socks. You name it. I can see everything, even if my ATO isn't turning on and off properly. That actually happened this last trip this past. So I try to have as much stuff connected to the network via Wi-Fi that I can control from anywhere that I might be, either from my phone or a computer. And that's kind of my disaster plan:
I
is
see.
handle as much as I can myself. So whoever is watching the tank, whether it's my wife or a family friend, uh, hopefully all they have to do is throw food in the tank. That's my goal. They throw food in, everyone's happy.
I see. Can you give me one moment? It's actually my head.
Uh-oh, we just lost Derek. So I guess it's TJ Automation now.
Hello.
Come on, there he is.
All right, let me see if I can get your sound to be better because they're saying they can hear you. I can't. So hold on.
Oh, I can bounce out and come back in if that helps.
Oh yeah, it's all messed up, dude. All right, we're gonna have to stick with this. If you guys hear an echo in the back, I'm gonna do my best to make that echo not so bad. I don't know what's going on today. All right, you said something about your sump and then I lost you.
Oh, okay. Um, I was just saying, so that the Apex system, handles everything, and then I use his cameras, one on the tank, so I can see everything in the tank, and then I have another one mounted underneath the tank, looking directly down above the sump, so I can monitor everything that's in the sump, from the skimmer to the dosing. In fact, on this past trip, I ATO stopped running at 1:30 in the morning because it hit like the 3-minute shutoff mark,
Mhm.
and um, I was able to verify that I was able to turn it back on through the camera because I could see the ATO running in the sump. So, um, disaster averted.
Mhm. Yeah, I've never, and I've said this in the past, and you totally have a great rebuttal to my statement, which is I don't really need cameras in my system. I've never found the need for them, but I can see it being an important thing when no one's around and you're gone for 2 weeks. Being able to see what's going on is quite a big deal. Um,
Yeah, and especially if someone who's not a reefer is taking care of your maybe they can't FaceTime you or something, but you can call them and you can see them working in the sump. If you, let's say you have to move the skimmer cup or something simple, you can talk them through that. So for as cheap as they are, it's just an extra piece of.
so, what cameras do you use? I think a lot of people are going to ask that.
I use the Wise.
The Waze, Waze,
Waze,
Wise,
Waze,
something like
yeah,
that.
Wise, Waze.
Yeah, sorry guys, I'm having some audio issues. It's my stupid headset, and I'm debating if I should just unplug it, plug it back in, see if that does the trick. Are you hearing me okay, TJ? Or am I broken
Yeah,
up?
you sound great to me.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know, man. Let me try to reset this silly thing. You could tell us more about your vacation stuff.
So everyone says I sound okay, right? Just want to make sure that it's not coming from my end. Um, yeah, I wasn't on vacation this past. Thanks, Rob. These past 2 weeks, I was out of town for work, and being able to jump in whenever needed and monitor the tank, such a relief. And I was just using the app on my phone for 90% of it. Um, and I feed frozen, so one of the few things I don't have is the auto feeder.
Got it.
I do a mix of frozen. Oh, there you are, Derek.
Perfect. I can hear you perfectly now. It was my mic. I don't know what the
Oh,
heck was
great.
going on. All right, we're back. I heard you talking, and then I'm sorry if I interrupted you.
No, that's all right. I was just finishing up with I don't have an auto feeder on my system, even though I do mix pellets in with the frozens that I feed. Um, but that's about it. I mean, really throw food in, and hopefully the tank should be pretty much on its own.
So I think you kind of really hit the nail on the head with what to do when you're gone. So my question also on there was, what do you do before you leave? Is there any? Do you have like a list of things that you do before you leave? I know I do.
Yeah, so I make a lot of RODI,
Okay.
and I fill up enough RODI. I haven't been making prepared salt water, and I probably should. I need to add it on my list. I've never thought about it, and it just kind of came to me that that might be nice to have some on hand for whoever's here. And then the only other thing I really do is I top off the ATO like all the way up to the siphon break, and I make a bunch of prepared food. I have, went to the dollar store, got a bunch of little Tupperwares, and I make my own little mix and put it all in the freezer. And then whoever's watching the tank, they take out one of those cups every day, fill it with tank water, lets it thaw out, and feed it to the tank.
Cool. So I'm gonna say a couple ads to you, and this is what I do. And I know I'm a little crazy, so bear with me. But what I like to do is kill the power to my house. What I actually end up doing is I go to the breaker box and I kill the power. Now I have breakers actually dedicated to my fish tanks. So what I'll do before I leave is I'll kill the breakers to my fish tanks. I will make sure that my Apex is giving me the alerts I'm supposed to be getting. I'll make sure that my anything that's on battery backup is battery backing up, doing what it's supposed to. I'll probably let it go for about 30 minutes or so, see how things run because I have battery backups that'll last more than 30 minutes. And I'll check everything. I'll check the flow. I'll check where things are things are going with the tank, how the lights are doing. If there's anything I should be aware of. But I think the most important thing is for people that have monitors and controllers like you and me is to make sure we're getting the correct alerts to tell us, hey, the power went out if it's programmed to do so. So that's what I do. That's something that I've always done. Especially if I'm on like a week or two vacation. If I'm going away for a day or two, I probably won't do something like that. But I always do it if I'm going away a longer period of time. I'll also check for leaks. So I'll do a leak test where I'll kill the power or I'll kill the pumps, make sure that my sump fills up, it's not overflowing. I'll do a lot of tests just to make sure everything's good. And it only takes, guys, what, a half an hour of your day or an hour of your day just to check everything, especially if you have one tank. When you have three tanks like me, you got to check it much more. But, um, you know, I think that's a good practice, especially for, like I said, if you're going away a long time. And for the amount of stuff I have in my tank, it means a lot to me to make sure everything's good. Um, so that's what I do. That's
Yeah,
always been something I've
I,
done.
I agree. I never thought about shutting off the panel, um, but I am probably very soon here going to be picking up a generator.
Okay.
They're so cheap, and that's probably the safest thing that, for me, at least right now, that can guarantee long term
Hmm.
operations. Now I don't know if I should say this. I've never lost power since I've built this house.
Well, here in Arizona, we really don't have those type of issues. But
Yeah,
speaking from experience, in Chicago, where I'm from, there was a lot of power outages. And also, speaking to people that are listening, obviously outside of Arizona, a lot of people have power outages. So I just find it a best practice for me. But yeah, we don't have power outages very often at all, if any, you know.
yeah, but for 400 or 500 bucks, you can have a generator that's more than capable of running almost everything on your system.
Right.
For a lengthy period of time. Um, to me, that's just another piece of life support,
Hmm.
for the system. So I never thought about though shutting that panel off like you did and see if I get the alerts that I'm supposed to get.
Well, there's more to it actually, because let's just say power. Okay, this has happened to me in the past, right? GFCIs, testing them. I find that they like to trip on their own whenever they feel convenient. So I do test them also. That's something I always test, especially in Arizona. Even if our power doesn't go out, those GFCIs like to just go off from time to time for no reason. And of course, I have them on my fish tanks. So I check them. I trip them, make sure everything's working on them. Again, I'm very, I guess anal is the right word, but I'm very particular. And you've seen my tanks. I mean, I got a lot of money invested into my tanks, so I'm not gonna leave the house without knowing absolutely certain that not only do I have someone coming to my house every day, which for me is important. Not many people, have three fish tanks and need someone to constantly be there like I do. along with my reptiles and my dogs and everything else I have. But it's a peace of mind for me because that way when I get an alert, I know exactly what's going on. Um, so that's how I've always done. Even when I did this like 20 years ago, when I didn't have any automation, I would check the breakers and everything before I would leave, just to make sure my battery backups working and my before I had those battery air things where they would blow bubbles when the battery would go or when the power would go out.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I would test them. I would always test them, make sure the battery's good in them. And I encourage anybody that's leaving town to test their power. I know it's crazy, but just especially if you have a controller and especially if you have battery backup, make sure your battery backups are actually working. Hell, you don't even have to flip the breakers, right? You could just unplug everything from the wall. It's the same thing. I have
Right.
so many. You've seen. I have so many things plugged in. It would take me. It would take me a while to unplug everything. I just hit the breaker. You know. So.
Yeah, you'd be unplugging stuff for about 3 days.
So that leads me into a fun time that I had this weekend. I know you've been anxiously
Let's
waiting to hear my story. Um, Something really bad happened this weekend, guys, and I am encouraging the chat and TJ to tell me what they would do in this situation because you guys have relied on me now for over almost 2 years on what do you do for if this happens or if this happens, if this happens, redundancy if this happens, right? So I always thought that I had a lot of redundancy, right? I believe in my heart that I have tons of redundancy. Well, apparently not. So I have there's before I explain what happened, let me tell you what's supposed to happen. So in my nano tank, I have a high sensor, a low sensor, a medium sensor, and a leak sensor, right? If the leak sensor hits, it kills the pump, right? If it gets to the high sensor, it kills the pump, right? I also have 3 alarms in my house. I have an alarm in my big tank, I have an alarm in my garage, and I have an alarm in my bedroom. I actually have an alarm in my ceiling that will wake me up in the middle of the night if there's a leak or anything severe that I need to be aware of. So I have everything covered, right? Now, what if your Apex in the middle of the night decides to completely erase its program? What do you do?
Well,
You
how?
heard it first from me. I am not joking. I'm being dead serious. Let me explain why this is a really, really bad thing. Now, specifically Terrence, but Neptune in general has always stated that if everyone out there knows about Neptune, what is one thing that they pride themselves on with their power bars? When you buy a power bar, what is something that the power bar automatically has out of the box?
Fuse?
I know it was a tough one. Neptune has prided themselves on if you plug in an EB832, if you plug in an EB8, some of the outlets are already programmed. Correct? Do you remember that? You know what I'm talking about? So they have pre-programmed programs, right? Now, what if you lose your program? What happens to those outlets? That's correct. So, if you lose your program, which is what happened, I'm not joking, guys. My program completely got deleted. Fallback doesn't matter, guys, because fallback relies on a program. So, what happened, literally, is my entire system lost its program. All of my EB8s used their default program, which turned them on in some cases. One of them being the pumps on my nano tank, which means one of them decided to flood my office. That is correct. So we woke up and there was it's still here. We got to get carpet cleaners to clean the carpeting and my brand new desk because the Apex, no joke, deleted its program.
How does that even happen now?
I have absolutely no clue. So I talked to Neptune. I talked to 3 different people. and they said something happened inside, like a corrupt SD card. I don't know exactly what happened. Thank God I had a backup program, so I was able to just load the program back in, and I was back up and running. But it deleted its program. When I logged into it, it had a new IP address, and it had no program. Everything was
So
back to
is it
normal.
still connected to your Wi-Fi though, or your network, or do you have yours
It's
hardwired?
hardwired, but it
Oh,
was still connected, and it had a purple light on the front. So, my question to everyone in the chat, what do you do about that? How do you make a redundancy for that? I've come up with a solution, but I would love to know your guys' solution. You're going to love my solution, by the way, especially Jeff. Jeff's on the chat there. I've come up with a solution. I want to see what everyone thinks here, including you, TJ.
I uh, I do have a suspect in mind though. Somebody hacking you.
It's potentially, I don't see how. I mean, I'm at a pretty strong network here, but isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that I didn't even know what would happen if mine wiped out like that.
Well, imagine
Um,
if it wiped out and you have 40 modules on 3 fish tanks. Isn't that crazy?
but it's not all the outlets, right?
It's
Only
only
some of
certain
them.
ones. And unfortunately, I had important ones on them, like my heater, like my pumps, like, things that are important are on the
Yeah,
pre-programmed outlets, which sucked.
yeah. The only thing I can think of wouldn't work for like turning something off that's on for too long, like an ATO or something like
Right.
that. Because if this is going to go on,
My
I
ATOs went
don't
on
know how it
too.
would,
My
yeah, how
ATOs
it
went
would
on too.
detect that.
What did you
Let
do?
me see.
What did I do to
I,
Terrence? So, this is what I've decided to do to fix it. You guys are going to love this. I think I'm going to get some laughter. So, now that I am a Hydros dealer, and Hydros has a Wi-Fi plug, a single Wi-Fi plug, right? Which I hate, by the way. I'm going to put it on the nano tank, the pump that pumps the water out of the tank, in case. And I'm going to put it on my Hydros with a high-end leak sensor on the Hydros. So now the Hydros is going to be my backup if the Apex decides to go haywire, so I don't have a flood in my house. I mean, how else can you do it? You'd have to get another Apex, right? I'd have to have another Apex with another power bar, or I could just buy a wireless thing, right? Because I already have Apex run throughout the house, so I just get a wireless plug. I'm gonna plug it into the power bar that all that stuff's plugged
mhm.
into, right? And it will kill the power to it if the high sensor or the leak sensor detects water. It'll just kill it via the hydros. So it'll kill the power bar completely, which basically kills the power to the system. I know it's silly, but that's the only thing I could come up with that I think is logical. Because I don't know of any companies other than Hydros and, well, GHL, Hydros and Apex that I could put a high sensor with water and a leak sensor to kill power if it detects something.
Yeah, that actually makes sense. Yeah, you just run a high one thing, yeah, a high level sensor,
That's it.
and you kill the whole system
Well, not the whole system. I'm just killing the
or just the
power
pump.
bar. Just the power
Yeah,
bar.
I'm sorry, just the power bar.
Right. Isn't that
That
crazy?
makes sense.
It should work. It should work great. If for some
Oh yeah.
reason my Apex decides to go haywire again, I can't afford to have floods in this office. Like that's
Can it? And then will that the hydros? I haven't used the hydros. Will it then alert you that
yes,
activated?
yes,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, it happened in the middle of the night. Unfortunately, I was sleeping, and this is when it happened. And because the Apex completely lost its program, I didn't get an alarm. I didn't get anything. You know, and the way of
Yeah.
doing this is going to allow me to have a backup to the power bar, which has the ATOs, which has the heater, which has the important things that could kill my entire tank. Like imagine if my ATOs were stuck on all night. Thank God that didn't
Yeah,
happen because those are on a
yeah,
separate
that would have been
system,
horrible.
But my entire nano right here got. Oh, I'm glad things are still alive. I mean, it's just crazy.
And for anyone who hasn't seen your Nano, just so everyone knows, he has more tech in that little shoebox of a fish tank than most people have on their huge tanks. It's incredible. Yeah, your
but
setup
it's
is
just
something I dream of.
and unfortunately, the hard part about this is unfortunately my wife has her desk over here, and it ruined all of her stuff. Like it ruined her notes for her work. It ruined all her cards that she had here. It ruined everything. And if I can avoid that just by getting a Wi-Fi power block and an XS hydros for what $200, and all it's
Hmm.
going to do is kill power, I think it's an easy solution. And I think that's the only way to do redundancy on something like this. Because that was my main question to everyone today is how do you do redundancy on a controller that has pre-programmed outlets that will turn on if it loses its power, if it loses its program. I guarantee, guys, if you have a new Apex out there, or you don't, let's say you have an Apex with a very simple program, just delete the program, default it. You'll see those outlets turn on. Which, again, Neptune raves about that, and I found it to be not very good. I wish they didn't have outlets that turn on with default, but they do.
Yeah, I guess the only other thing would be to make sure those particular pumps or whatever are plugged in the other outlets that don't have a default.
Correct. That's another
But
solution. But I didn't know that. I didn't
yeah,
think this would ever happen, obviously,
I
right?
I haven't even thought that through. I
Uh,
might be screwed if something happens tonight. Thanks.
eh. Sorry. I don't know which outlets they are. I just don't remember which ones are pre-programmed. Um,
Hmm.
but I know there are some, and it's unfortunate. Poor Man's Reef has a question. I pushed the wrong one. I can't decide if I should set up trace elements on a Neptune dose or use Neptune soloids and optical sensor to automate my ATO reservoir. I do both. So, are you asking which one you should do is more important than the other? I would say definitely a ATO. I think dosing trace elements yourself is not that big of a deal. What, once a week, you know? So I would go with the ATO first.
Yeah, ATO is probably, in my opinion, the single most important thing, and probably one of the most important techs items for reefing to ever come along. 20 years ago, I was using an IV line and a 5 gallon jug dripping. I don't know if you remember guessing if you were putting enough water in for the day.
Well, he's saying about automating his reservoir refill, which I think is awesome because that saves so much time.
Oh, I see
Um,
what he's saying.
yeah, because I personally, you saw my setup. I have
Yeah.
two. I have my saltwater and I have my. Um, I saw a comment. I have my saltwater and my RO, and both of them automate fills. And it's just, again, it's something I don't have to worry about. And again, it's also 55 gallons, so it's a lot that I would have to fill manually and sit there and
Yeah.
wait, you know.
And
But
then you
yes,
fall asleep and forget. And
right.
I've
I
flooded my house
think,
twice now.
oh, and that's the thing is I would want to do the ATO stuff, automating ATO stuff first, and then go towards more, trace elements, calcium reactor automation, all that stuff. That stuff is secondary because
Yeah.
that stuff's not that difficult to do manually. Whereas ATO stuff obviously is anything regarding an ATO, refilling the ATO, getting the ATO to come on, all that stuff requires a lot of work that you can get away with automation, of course.
Yeah. Especially if you have a new tank. I mean, you're not going to need to be dosing really anything for a while.
Right.
If you have an established tank, yeah, that can add up pretty quick though.
And Harkins, I love Harkins. Hi, Harkins. Sorry. Shout out to Harkins. He's asking that's nuts. There should be a fallback state. There is a fallback state. The unfortunate truth of the fallback state is it only works if you have a program. Once that program is gone, unbeknownst to me, once you have no program, that fallback state is null and void. It does not work, unfortunately. So, which sucked. Uh,
Yeah, see, there's another old school reefer. Harkins with the IV line.
yeah, I do. Well, I don't do an IV line anymore, but I used to do it for calc dripping. But now,
Okay.
I have calc. I have it on a Camor constant duty, and it just gives me more control. Philly, we don't care about if that's the Eagles, dude. We don't care about the Eagles. I don't know who Allen is. See, let me say something about football for a second. I love football. My team sucks, but if they're not playing on Monday nights, I'm not watching Monday Night Football. I'm just saying. It's just anyway. That was my spiel. Poor Man's Reef says he's pimped out with programming. That's awesome, man. Poor Man's Reef is pimped out with automation. That's freaking cool. The ATO reservoir is the only thing I lack. Um, I can tell you, and I think TJ would agree. Once you activate your automated reservoir, it's it's a game changer. I mean, it becomes almost hands free at that point with your tank. I think that's a big step, and I love it. I don't know about you, but I love it.
Yeah, I need to convince the family that it's a smart thing for me to get up in the attic and drop a line into the fish room for that. Um,
You should do it.
I'm still filling up my reservoir manually, and during the summer, yeah, it's nonstop.
Which is
Now that we're getting
it's funny you bring that up because everyone makes fun of how short I am. Okay, TJ is much taller than me. Him going in the attic would be an exciting fun thing to watch. Just by the way.
yeah, I don't even know how I would do it.
Um, Philly Reefers saying that they will say the program won't get deleted. I spoke to support. Like I said, I called support immediately after this, and I said, "How is this possible?" And not a single person there was like, "I've never heard that before." I don't know, guys. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. And again, I say this, and I'm true to everything I say. I'm honest with everything I say. I've had Apex for over a decade, and I've never had my program get deleted, which leads me to believe there was something afoot here. Something happened in the middle of the night. Is it possible someone hacked into my Apex? It's entirely possible. I'm not going to lie. It's entirely possible. Um, I don't know. Someone's asking about your system.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I never asked you about your system.
Oh, yeah, I run so my main tank is a 120 with a 40-gallon sump. I have another tank that's a 40-gallon cube that I think I might be transitioning over to possibly a Predator tank. I'm not sure. Um, and then I run, let's see, as far as gear, we already know about the Apex and everything. I run four XR15 Gen 5 Pros for lights, and I just run AB Plus. Set it, forget it. I haven't touched it since I put them on, and everything is fine with that. I have a Reef Octopus skimmer, and then I use a cheap Jabo Wi-Fi doser, like not even $50 for that thing, and it's been reliable. Again, knock on wood, no
Hmm.
issues. Can control it from anywhere that I might be traveling, and haven't had any issues there. So UV sterilizer I run as well,
Okay.
and other than that, I don't get too fancy when it comes to the tank, because the fancier you get, the more things that can go sideways on you. As I say to the fanciest guy in reefing there is.
I know.
Um,
It went
but
sideways on me for sure.
yeah, it's funny. We're talking here about reef automation, and I look back at my 20 plus years in reefing. Never. possibly imagining some of the stuff that we're able to do today.
Right.
And that's in a short period of time. I mean, it really is. When I was moving and I had to take down my tank and I gave everything away. My previous tank was a 125 back when I was living in Wisconsin. Um, I was running hybrid uh, T5s and metal halides,
Yeah,
and
I was
the
doing power
giant.
compact, but yeah.
Oh, the giant ballasts underneath the tank, the huge chiller just from the heat from the lights, and LEDs were just starting to be touched on. And I remember everyone said, "There's no way LEDs will
I
ever be
remember.
able to be used
I
on
remember.
fish tank."
I remember.
You remember, Reef
Oh yeah.
Central and all the online chatter, just
Oh yeah.
just moonlights and that's it.
So I'll tell you my quick story because you were talking about it. I've had every light on the Blue Moon. I mean, I've had almost every light possible. I started with Power Compact. I think everyone started with Power Compact that are in the reefing hobby as long as us. I think Power Compact were that thing you could afford without going to metal halide because metal halides were always expensive. Um, and then when you got metal halides, you always needed a chiller because they would just heat up your water. So I remember having metal halides, no joke, guys, on a 40-gallon breeder. I had two metal halides in. No. It gets better. I gotta find a picture of this. I have to have a picture of this to prove this. You guys have probably seen the 40-gallon breeder canopy. If you haven't, go look for it. It's what, 6 inches tall, I think. I had two metal
Were you trying to
halides in
boil
there.
your tank?
I don't know if I have a picture of it. I mean, it's old school tank. Oh my goodness. No, I don't have a picture. I'll have to go look for it. Anyway, it got so hot that I had to cut fans on the sides and
Yeah.
to air out all the heat. And I remember it was all wood, and I would be scared it would burn every night. And lo and behold, one day it burned the side of the tank.
Oh my god,
Now,
dude. Yeah,
here's something funny about all of this is my first automation that I ever had was a Crestron switch. If you guys don't know what Crestron is, that's what I do for a living. I program Crestron. And they had wireless switches. And I was able to program if the wireless switch lost power, it would email me. And that's how I was able to know if I lost power in my tank. That's the first thing I did with automation a long time ago.
yeah. I thought the wave makers I had 20 some years ago was automated. Because they could randomly switch, and we thought that was the coolest thing. And then I
Hmm.
had moonlights that were automated, that would come on after the metal halides went out. And I see someone said they got a 400-watt metal halide on the frag tank. I remember thinking when I set up this tank, saying this entire system uses less energy than two of my old bulbs.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's incredible.
James had a question here. He's asking, is the program lost due to a power outage or programming? Or the internal RAM. So I believe the internal RAM, something got corrupted inside because, as you all know, if you unplug your Apex, 50 times, it's not going to lose its power. And here in Arizona, we don't lose power that often. We didn't lose power that night, I can tell you, because I have other things in my house. It was just a fluke, and it sucked. I'm not going to lie, it sucked. Thank God I have a backup. And for those that asked about backing up, I have a whole video on how to back up your Apex and how to restore it. I also have an entire video which I spent with someone upgrading their Apex Junior, I think, to a new Apex. And we had to go through the same thing as if you were to upgrade your Apex or change out your Apex, the steps in which you must take, which is not fun, by the way, especially when you have 40 modules. So if you guys don't know this, this is a good thing to know. If you ever need to replace your Apex, every one of your modules has an ID, okay? The ID is assigned to it based on when it was plugged into the Apex. So for example, if you have an Apex and you have a power bar and an AFS, a feeder, and you plug in the AFS to the Apex first, and then you plug your power bar in, it's going to give the AFS address 1, and it's going to give the power bar address 2. And that is keyed to your apex. So if you have a defective apex like I do, or if you have to replace your apex, you must plug in your modules in that specific order again. So the key to getting that information is to go into your modules, and it gives you the address on the left side. If you go into modules, it says the address. Print that out. I think you should always have that just in case anyways. And you literally have to plug in each one of those devices one at a time in their order. Once you've done that and you upload your backup, everything goes back to how it was. If you upload your backup and your addresses aren't in the right places, oh, you're not going to be happy. So I have 40 modules. I had to plug in each one of my modules one at a time in the order in which they needed to be plugged into. Not fun. Not fun at all.
Yeah, no, I can't imagine
But
redoing that system like you did too.
me and my wife did it.
Do you think maybe it was related? The failure was related to the reef bot.
Oh, of course. Speaking of ReefBot, by the way, guys, it's been offline now for 2 weeks, and I can't get it back online. And they will not respond to me, no matter what I know why they won't respond to me, but I do have two of them, so maybe they could help me a little bit.
Well, I want to be invited when you have your office space party.
It's planning. It's being
On,
planned once I get a Mastertronic. Mikey D said, "Speak English, man." So I don't know if he was kidding around, but basically the modules have addresses. I'm not going to explain it again, but basically the modules have addresses, and you have to plug them in based on their address. So if address 1 is 1, address 2 is 2, 3, 4, 5. You have to do them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in that order. That's what I was getting at. Gary says, I have a feeling that company scammed a lot of people. I don't have a feeling that that company scammed a lot of people, if you know what I'm saying. I had Metal High until I had them 20 years ago. Name brand cheaper. Need two skies. Yeah, I sell skies if you need one, Robert. What does TJ's tank focus on? Yeah, so what kind of corals you got there?
yeah, Rob, I do mixed reefs, and I am a fan of everything, and that's the problem. I
I have
love
a
the
mix too.
SPS and the challenge of SPS. I love pushing myself, and my wife thinks I'm crazy. She hates it. She hates this hobby. She thinks they're gorgeous, but she doesn't understand how like I can tinker and pay all the time and attention to everything. And I love the SPS as far as the LPS and everything else and the softies. Uh, Softies, I like Zulas. I think there's just something about the diversity and the colors in that are great. And I always recommend them to people that are new because they're going to get that instant gratification of succeeding. You pretty much have to like nuke Zoas or something
Mm-hmm.
like that. A little secret. I even have GSP in both my tanks. I think they make
I do
great
too.
back wall covers. And
Fantastic back
when it gets
walls.
out of hand, I put a post in the local forum and I go, "Who wants free frags?" And people come
Mhm.
over and I just scrape it off the side and hand it out.
Yeah.
So I love everything. Um, if I had to pick one, I'm a stickhead.
Hmm.
But everyone else in the house likes the stuff that moves.
I think that's pretty normal
So
for most people. They like the movements, and
yeah.
I tried to mimic that in my tank as best as I can. But I've said this in the stream, I've always had trouble with Euphilia. I have two Euphilia in my tank right now, and they're doing pretty good. But I've always had trouble with Euphilia in this tank, and I don't know if there's something. Maybe my leather is giving some type of problem with it, or I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. Every tank I've ever had, there's always been something that I couldn't keep, and it makes no sense. With this tank,
Acans is another
it's
one.
mushroom. It's Rick's.
Eh,
I have no idea what's going on,
yeah.
and I've had this Rick in my tank for a year, and it's still about that big and barely hanging on.
Yeah, you have a good point. There's always like one like acans. I cannot keep an acan alive for the life of me, no matter what I do. No matter what I do.
And then I
I,
have the corals that everyone else says no one can keep, ganies,
I have ton, I have
and
that
my
too.
ganies are massive. And
Yeah.
they're like, they're so hard. And I said, I just throw them in. Like, maybe it's because I don't do these like crazy extended acclimation things to my corals. I get them temperature matched and they go in the tank.
Yeah, I don't even do that. I just throw them in.
Oh, you just chuck them
I've
in?
always I've
Yeah.
always done that. But again, I've said this before on my stream. I get all my corals from the same place, so I know
Yeah.
exactly what I'm getting. Typically, I'll leave the bag out in the room temperature for about 15 minutes, and that's fine. I have dipped my corals multiple times. I started not really doing it. Like I said, I get my stuff from the same place every time. So I stopped dipping. But if I'm putting something in my nano, sometimes I'll dip it because I have a lot of expensive stuff in there. Um, so I don't know. I mean, everyone does their own thing, but I've been doing the same thing for years and years and had no issues. But yeah, acans, I can't keep them alive for the life of me. Never.
Yeah, and those are generally pretty
Yeah,
easy going too. And your
all of them. They just all die, no matter what.
yeah, your tanks are gorgeous. Well, I have some acans. Maybe I chop you off a chunk and see if you can keep it.
Let's see.
I
Someone
will
had
answer. I did see it. Oh, there Derek's camera goes. I
the
did see
plumbing
something
question.
earlier. Somebody asked about my beard,
Oh, your beard. I saw a plumbing
and
question for you too.
it's always about my beard. I get it all the time. So I'll address the elephant in the room if you don't mind.
That's
Uh,
fine.
I forgot who asked it. Right now, there's nothing in my beard. There is no product in this beard. And number one, get yourself a good barber
Yeah.
and go every 2 weeks. Number two, you have to get a hot brush and you have to straighten it. Just like someone who has long curly hair, you have to straighten it. Same thing with your beard. Now, when I do put product in, I'm not going to tell a secret.
So I got a question about the beard. I know this is silly, but
Yeah.
I gotta ask it. Um, I grow hair like it's nothing. I have to shave about every yeah. Uh, if I don't shave for about 4 days, it's bad. I mean, usually 4 or 5 days. So my question is, and I've asked this one other person who had a big beard. When I get to a certain point, right, it itches so bad I can't deal with it. So how do you get past that stage?
Yeah, that I remember it when I grew it out. You just got to suck it up, man.
Oh,
There's
beard
beard
automation.
oil. Beard oil will help. Brushing it with a really stiff brush will help. Because beard
Oh,
oil is not for the beard; it's for your skin.
oh,
And so you get good beard oil in there and brush it really hard.
ah,
So, but otherwise, you
interesting.
just got to wait until you get a hanging beard.
Yeah, I can't get past that point. It bothers me so much. I can't deal. Couldn't even sleep sometimes because it's so itchy. Anyway, yeah, thanks, Manny. Um, someone asked about plumbing. I believe the question was, should you put a gate valve? Let me see if I can. Something about a gate valve. Let me go back up.
Yeah, I did see something about a valve.
Whoever asked that, if you can maybe just go ahead and
Oh,
re-ask
here it
that
is. It's
question.
Gary.
Okay.
Uh, do you recommend I put ball valves in the return line or gate valves with unions?
Okay, so we're talking about a return line. Are we talking about? We're not talking about a drain. We're talking about a return line, right? I
Yeah.
always recommend putting anything return lines with unions because, especially with pumps, sometimes you're going to need to remove the pump. You're going to get a bigger pump. You always want to have unions, regardless. Sometimes you'll get something stuck in there. You might need to pull out. Always have unions on your return lines. As for gate valves, I do not think you want a gate valve on your return line unless it's an AC pump, which is almost unheard of nowadays.
Yeah.
Most of them are controllable now. So gate valves really only would be there if you're going to control the flow going into your tank. Um, as for ball valves, yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, true union valve. That's exactly what you should get. Yeah, if you have a DC pump, Gary, I would not put gate valves. I'd put. I don't even think you need a ball valve. I mean, you could put a ball
I
valve right where the tank connects just in case you ever need to close it off. But generally on returns, all I used to do was I take the returns and just flip them up so that way the water doesn't drain in. But yeah, I think a ball valve would be a good thing to have right under the tank. I think that would be a good idea. What do you think?
Yeah, I do ball valves on the returns in case I got to shut down the lines for one reason or another. Everything gets unions in case, so I can take apart any part of it. Um,
Yeah,
when it comes to unions and that, I'd rather have more on than
yeah,
not enough. Otherwise, you're cutting pipes and
right. More unions, the better. I know sometimes it looks ugly, but I have a lot of unions on mine just in case you want to change stuff. You never know. You might need to change stuff. And then again, in a couple of years, like you said earlier, things change. Maybe they'll come out with some
mm-hmm.
new gadget that you need to hook up somehow. Um, Rogue Gaming had a really good question. So he's asking, and I have a perfect idea for this, and I'll let you go first. I need to drill holes through an interior wall. He has 3 drains and 2 return lines. What should he do?
I mean, old school hole saw, right?
Yeah,
Um, but with that many lines, he might be better doing like a slot and finishing it out. Is it going right into? I'm guessing into a fish room, a dedicated fish room,
that's got to
or
be.
are they
I
going
would think
different
so.
places? Because that may dictate it too. But yeah, I would slot it and clean it out,
Mhm.
make it look nice.
So what I do, Rogue,
Uh,
and I've had to do this in the past, is if you go to Home Depot, they have these gigantic PVC tubes. They're black. They make them up to like I think 4 inch, one of them, and get a hole saw, drill a big hole through it, then get one of those guys, cut it, put it in there so there's a big hole in your wall, right? And then it's kind of like a big hole to just put stuff through. And what's nice is if you use sealant, you can actually seal the edges of it so no water will ever get in the wall. That's how I did it a long time ago. Um, you know, Now I just don't care and drill holes and just throw pipes through. But the right way to do it, I think, would be try something like that. Or of course, get a professional plumber to actually run PVCs through the walls so you can run it. But yeah, you don't want
yeah,
to. I personally, at least in Arizona, I don't put any tubes in the wall unless they're Schedule 80 or flipping outdoor irrigation line because it will melt from the heat here in Arizona in the wall. It will melt or crack. So you got to be really careful, at least here in Arizona.
yeah, I can't even do that. My all my exterior walls are spray foam insulated. Um,
Oh,
so I can only run anything through an interior or through the attic, which I have a air conditioned attic. I don't know if you remember that from like 5 or 6 years ago.
yeah.
Um, but that's the other problem is I can't run anything upstairs really either. But we don't have basements here. I do miss that. I had all my
uh,
gear. My fish room was my basement on my old tank. I'm
oh,
jealous.
yeah. I wish I had a basement too. It would be so
And
nice to have the
Aaron,
fish
yeah,
room
you
in
got
the
all your
basement.
lines and wires to your wall. If anyone's running power and water, they should be in separate holes, separate sleeves.
I
Don't put them all
agree.
together.
Rogue's asking about noise. I don't think you'll hear much noise, especially if you. Well, of course you can get really creative and get. If you really are worried about that, you can get the spray foam and spray foam your pipes in that hole so that way they don't move. First of all, and second of all, you won't hear a single thing. I've never had an issue with hearing anything when you really pack those walls with a bunch of stuff. Um, I think you just have to get creative, honestly. Dave's asking if I use system sumps. Absolutely, buddy. I have videos on trigger sumps. I love
Five
my
times
trigger
fast, please.
sump. I love my trigger sump, my platinum sumps. Man, um, I mean they're a little bit of work, but I love them. What do you got running over there, TJ? Anything special, custom?
Yeah, I tried to track it down because I got it used of who might have built it, and I wasn't able to ever figure it out. So, yeah, I big proponent of buying used equipment when you can for certain things.
Or getting
If you
or
watch
winning things on giveaways.
or winning, so that's right. Speaking of winning, you do have your big thing to announce here.
Oh yeah, we're at about 8 o'clock. I guess it's time to announce it. Everyone's waited long enough.
Yeah,
What do we
I don't
got?
know.
40
Do
people?
they deserve it?
So yeah, of course, everyone deserves it, including you, TJ. You are welcome to enter as well. So here's the deal, guys. We have 40 people in here. Hopefully, we get some people to watch after the fact. But I would love to have more people. Otherwise, this isn't going to be fun. Now, I know people say the more people, the less you have a chance to win, right? But I think this is different. So what we're going to do, the giveaway thing doesn't work because I haven't announced it yet. Philly, Reefer, you always win everything anyways. Anyway, um, so here's the plan. Next week is going to be, I don't know what date it's going to be. I'm going to give it a week. I think that's enough time. I'm going to post here in YouTube and I'm going to post in Facebook. Okay. And what I want to do is I want you guys to submit your tanks to me. Okay. I guess you guys can email me, sales@reefautomation.net. Um, a video would be great. Pictures would also be, of course, fantastic. A little you don't have to type an essay, but type something to tell me what's in your tank, your setup, your automation. I want to see tanks. I want to see what you're growing in there. And what we're going to do, which we haven't done before, is next week on the live stream, I'm going to go through everyone's tanks that I saw. I'm going to rate them. I'm going to give them my opinions on them. We're going to get kind of people going through, seeing if we see anything that they can improve on. It's going to be, again, productive criticism. We're not going to get mean. We're going to show people off their tanks. I do want people to put their names on there, or at least their YouTube names, so that way I can tell you, um, I can tell you, hey, this is this guy, and he'll be there hopefully to receive the giveaway, because that's another part I'm going to explain. There's going to be a Facebook thread, Aaron. There's also going to be a YouTube thread, and you can also email them to me as well. There's not going to be any voting by you. It's all going to be me. I'm going to check them out, and I'm going to vote on them personally. Yes, it's going to be biased, and yes, it's going to be up to me to decide the winner. There are going to be 3 winners. I'm going to give top 3 winners to the top 3 that I see that I think have the best looking coral, best looking tank. Maybe I'll come up with some categories. I don't know. What do you think, TJ? I don't know. I could come up
Yeah,
with
I mean,
like most coolest. I don't know, coolest automation that they have. I don't know.
I would say one that's probably the cleanest, like cabling, piping,
Yes,
automation, everything.
I want to see all that.
That's yeah, that would be cool.
So it's going to be a combination of all that. I want to see who's got the best wire management, plumbing, coral. I mean, I want to see some fantastic stuff, guys. If you don't have a fantastic thing, you can submit it. We can talk about how you can improve. I think it'll be worthwhile just to put it out there. It doesn't have you guys don't have to have tons of expensive coral. It could be a bunch of euphyllias. It could be a bunch of mushrooms. I just want to see cool tank setups, right? So we're going to have top 3 prizes for the tank. You have to be at the stream to get the announcement, of course. It's going to be next week. That's why I said I want everyone to participate as much as we can. Do those with best in category really need a giveaway? Can you rate the worst? I
Yeah,
can.
maybe you do need the worst one, and they win something because they obviously need the most help.
That's not a bad idea, TJ. All right. He convinced me. We're going to have 3 top 3 prizes for the best 3, and we're going to have 1 prize for the worst one. I think that's a great idea.
You know
So
what?
even if
Now
your
all those
tank
guys that said they're
sucks,
not going to win, they're in.
right? If your tank really sucks and you want to show it off, go ahead, because you're going to win a prize. So I'm a shoo-in. I haven't really decided what the prizes are going to be. Um, I think I'm going to give away gift cards to my store, and I know it's a little, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for?
Self-serving.
Yes, self-serving. That's right. But it's going to be some big prize. I'm going to give maybe $500 gift card to my store, like something ridiculous, so you guys can buy like a whatever the heck you want for $500. Um, I don't know. We'll see. I haven't really decided how I'm going to do this yet. I might change the prizes. I might, get something in my storage and sell it to you guys. It might be a really crazy thing. I got some really cool stuff. I got some all kinds of stuff to give away. I just don't know yet what I'm going to give away. We're not giving away TJ's beard oil, guys. Um,
I wish the
so
ladies would give me as much attention as the guys do. What the
yeah,
heck am I
right.
doing
What
wrong
is
here?
that? But again, we talked about this in the beginning. If you haven't bought anything from my store, please, I know I'm kind of begging, but I'd like to get some more traffic to the store, really get my name out there. If you guys need anything, I can get it for you. I might even be able to get you a better price if you contact me. So just, yeah, if you guys haven't shopped at my store, it's reefautomation.net. I know TJ has because I can see something on him. He's got one of my shirts, which is flipping awesome, by the way. I like the black shirt. I haven't seen the black shirt. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's got my logo on the side too. Look at that. Representing. I love it.
I
And
think I got to get the
man,
Batfish Killer now.
yeah, well, well, I'm
Get the
wearing the
blue one
hat.
on.
Yeah, I'm wearing the hat.
Yeah.
I got Aquaforest I got to put on there. I am going to be selling Mastertronics, Focustronics stuff. I just became a dealer of that, so I'm going to be selling that. Reef Octopus I think I'm going to be selling. Um, so and Philly just asked about the new T-shirt designs. My wife started on it. I got really busy last week. She got sick. I got a little sick, so we're gonna get it out there. I got so much to do. Um, yeah, I have all the hydros on there, Harkins as well. Okay, Manny's still talking about your beard, dude.
I have
He
a
is
stalker
still
now.
talking about
We
my
both
beard.
have stalkers.
So Lee's asking where my warehouse is. I drop ship everything, so it comes directly from the manufacturer, brand new, sealed warranty. You know that makes it easier for me. Saves us on shipping because I don't have to pay shipping. Saves you guys on shipping, of course. So I know I'm plugging a lot here, but it's part of the giveaway, guys. So if you haven't seen my store, I think I'm gonna be giving away gift cards to my store, or I got some Ecotech stuff to give away that I still have here. I don't know. I'll come up with some cool prizes, man. You got a nice beard too, huh, Manny? I can grow a beard, dude. I just choose not to. And also, my wife would hate me if I grew a beard. She hates beard. No offense, TJ.
No, to each their own.
Yeah, this is why I'm married to her because I gotta shave every day. It's okay. I like not having a beard. Like yours, mine would be really gray too.
Whoa,
So,
whoa, whoa! What do you mean, really gray, sir?
I mean, sorry, let me rephrase that. Mine would be much grayer than yours.
Oh, okay. There's some gray, but
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to disrespect. I didn't know. Uh,
just just messing with you, man.
Kevin Ireland, I can see your picture, dude. You got some kind of beard there, dude. If that's real, I don't know if you can see his, but that is some kind of beard.
No, I don't have the YouTube stream up.
Oh,
Yeah, he's rocking a big beard.
oh, that blows yours away, dude. I'm sorry. I mean, look at his beard.
Kevin, you just made the list. Let's see here.
Anyway,
But
yeah. Top three. I'm gonna post it again in YouTube. I'm gonna post it in Facebook. You can post your submissions on the Facebook thread. You can email me sales@reefautomation.net. I don't know if YouTube will let you post on there your videos if you want to email me your pictures and so forth. I want to get a lot of submissions because I don't want this to be we got two people that submitted it and what am I going to do? So like I said, if you know some people that want to win something, go ahead and let them know. It's kind of funny, TJ. We had 42 people in here, and once I announced the giveaway, we now have 30.
Yeah, because they realized there wasn't the simple hashtag giveaway.
Right. I knew that was going to happen. That's why I waited till the
Yeah.
end.
Yep.
I know.
And
I
I
know.
have seen Kevin's beard now, and he reminds me of something out of The Hobbit.
But that's quite a beard, huh?
Yeah, that's a big fanned out one, baby. Nice job, Kevin.
Manny, you have a point. It probably was most of the East Coast people. I apologize. Um, anyway, that's going to be our giveaway. I think it's going to be a fun idea. I've never done something where I rate people's tanks, so I'm sure I'm going to get yelled at, but it's going to be fun. I'm kind of excited to do it. And I'm excited
I
to
think it'll be
vote
fun.
on the worst one. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that puts a lot of people in the running, apparently, just based off their own comments.
Yeah, it sure
Maybe you could
does.
give away a free consultation or something.
That's not a bad idea. I think the loser, well, I'm sorry, the number one loser is going to get a really good prize, guys. Now, let me refrain what I just said a little, or rephrase what I said a little bit. Do not ruin your tank so you can win this giveaway. Okay, don't go and put a bunch of cyano all over. Okay, don't kill your stuff just to win this giveaway. It's not that much of a good thing or that much of a great giveaway. You have to get
Yeah,
minimum
and
requirements. Okay, good call. Minimum requirements. It has to have coral and fish in it and can't look like you're neglecting it and killing everything because I don't want to see that. Is that fair? If you have algae, that's understandable. If you have Aptasia, that's understandable. Even cyano is all understandable. But if you have one mushroom in there and one fish, and you're clearly not taking care of your tank, I'm not giving you a prize for that. That's not what we're about here. We're about taking care of our fish.
yeah,
Do they have to be real fish? Yes, Manny. They have to be real fish. They can't be goldfish. It has to be a reef tank. This can't be a. This can't be. You can post your freshwater tanks, and I will tell you how amazing they are or how bad they are. But you won't be able to win a giveaway. It's got to be a saltwater tank because that's what this channel's about. Yes. You know what?
all joking aside. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off there. Um, but all joking aside, if someone does have a question or needs help with something, I mean, feel free to reach out whenever. You can reach out at my channel or Derek, and more than happy to help people as best I can. That's kind of why I got onto YouTube, was just trying to make it simpler and more enjoyable for more people. So
Yeah, you guys. He's got a great YouTube channel. We mentioned it. I have it in the description below. Someone said you are getting tired of my silliness.
no, I that kind of stuff doesn't bother me, Manny. That you're gonna have to try a
Yeah.
lot harder to get under my skin.
Yeah, this is where is someone? Yeah, Rob, you had a good point. Some people might be starting out. If you're just starting out, show us your tank. Show us what you're doing. Show us what you're going to do. Give me some. Hey, even if you show me a blank canvas, show me what you're going to do. I might say, hey, this is a great idea. Hey, I think this is going to be a great tank. But you're not going to win the giveaway, right? I mean, you got to have a tank to show us. Um, but I would love to see what people are going to be doing. That's awesome. Let's see. Any other questions? We're getting about 8:15 here, so we're getting a little bit late. James Covington says he needs all your help. So, James, reach out to either one of us. Do you want to tell us what your channel is? I put it in the description, but also, what is your channel called?
TJ's Reef.
TJ's Reef. So if they just search TJ's Reef, they'll be able to find it.
Yeah. And
Okay.
if they want to email me, it's just tjsreef@gmail.com. So if they have a question, but yeah, you did put the link in there. I did see it, so they should be able to scoot on over um, to the channel, no problem.
Mhm. Oh, Manny, dude, I love you, Manny. When you send in your
Oh,
submission, you don't have to put your face if you don't want to. I'd prefer that you put your picture. I won't put it on the channel at all. When you submit, you have to. I have to know it's your tank. So you can either write out your YouTube name on a piece of paper, put it on the tank. I'd prefer you put your face, in the picture. That would be great too. That way I know it's your tank. Because Manny had a really good point. People can just go on Reef to Reef and just copy a picture and go, "Oh, this is my tank." Yeah, none of those
that would be pretty
shenanigans, and
horrible.
yeah, none of those shenanigans in this channel. Uh, I do not have marine pure bricks in my sump. I will never put marine pure in my tank ever. It leaches aluminum no matter what anyone tells you. I can tell you I've done ICP tests with them. It leaches something. It killed a bunch of my leathers. Um, I got rid of it. Everything started doing much better once I got rid of it. Anyway, TJ, hopefully you're not falling asleep on me, but I
Oh
really
no,
appreciate you coming on. I think we had a really good chat. We got some good questions, and yeah, thank you so much, man. I
no,
hope you had a good time.
I
It's
had a
good to have
blast,
my
man.
subs
I
on
think my
here.
beard got more questions than I did, but that's all right.
Hey guys, guess what? He knows about reefing too. He's not just a beard connoisseur.
Can't you see all the gear behind me?
Oh yeah, look at all that stuff. That's a lot of stuff. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please shout out everybody about the giveaway. I'm going to post it as well. Um, Thanks again, TJ. This was a lot of fun. I had a great time with
Hey,
you,
my
man.
pleasure. Thank you.
See you guys.